Mario Kart 8 Deluxe received its final wave of DLC tracks on November 9th, 2023, totaling to 96 courses in one game, officially becoming the biggest Mario Kart ever, no questions asked. I can't recall support for any other modern Nintendo game lasting this long, even surpassing Smash Ultimate. So now that official development has finally wrapped after nearly a decade, I want to look back on how Mario Kart 8 became one of the most popular games ever, the history behind it, how it dominated Switch sales, and what could possibly come next after such massive success. It's 2013. Wii U sales weren't doing so hot. Many flagship franchises haven't even appeared on the system yet. So what does Nintendo do at E3 in hopes of saving the console? You know, just reveal a show-stopping trailer. To see such high detail in a Mario Kart game, scratch that. Nintendo game was genuinely mind-blowing. Compared to Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS, this was a gigantic leap forward. I was mesmerized as a 13-year-old. Now we only had to wait through a year of hype until release. Right, Zelda? So when Mario Kart 8 released in late May of 2014, it was basically the only saving grace for the Wii U, unsurprisingly becoming the best-selling game on the system. I actually first got my Wii U bundled with Mario Kart 8, so this was a very momentous occasion for me. I still remember feasting my eyes on the very first track, Mario Kart Stadium. What a spectacle. Literally all 32 tracks were visually stunning. I was hooked from day one. I spent days upon days trying to get first place in every single cup because I loved playing the game so much. But sadly, one of the biggest tragedies was a neutered battle mode. No original courses, just reusing existing courses without them being remotely suitable for battle. Personally, I don't ride or die for this mode in general, but I doubt there is a single person who can defend this downgrade. Even I could tell it was rushed and slapped together. Aside from that unfortunate blemish, it was nearly a perfect game. Emphasis on nearly, but Nintendo didn't stop there. For the first time in Mario Kart history, they introduced even more tracks through DLC, which was very smart of them to keep the game alive just a little longer on a failing system. At the time, I thought this was a lot. 16 brand new courses? I felt spoiled for having the most Mario Kart content thus far, but try as it might, even Mario Kart 8 couldn't save the Wii U's financial failure. Eventually, Nintendo had to cut its losses and move on to the next system ASAP. But in order to get as many people on board as possible, they needed to hit the ground running with some killer titles. Thankfully, Nintendo had a strong launch lineup of Breath of the Wild and but within that launch window was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, releasing only a couple months after launch. And from that point forward, 8 Deluxe would dominate Switch software sales for many years to come, even to this day. Why is that? Because for the 98% of the human population who didn't have a Wii U, this acted as a brand new Mario Kart game to them, and carrying over all the DLC from Wii U, plus a revamped battle mode that was actually fun, it was basically a guaranteed hit, and it shows, surpassing the Wii U version's sales and then some. Nintendo didn't really need to do anything with Mario Kart 8 anymore because it would just keep selling. But then, out of nowhere, 5 years after its release, Nintendo announced the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass plus Rabbids HD Definitive Edition Echoes of an Elusive Age S, real title, with even more DLC tracks, effectively doubling the already gigantic track list from 48 to 96. Nearly 100 courses in one game. If that's not a power move, I don't know what is. Granted, not all of the courses were created equally. Some had a questionable lack of detailed textures. The 14 city tracks were beautiful but overabundant, but most of them were very welcome additions. Overall, it was undoubtedly a net positive for everyone, even if players like myself were more than ready for a new entry. So after all that content and support, no wonder this game is considered the definitive Mario Kart game, with at least 57 million sales. Well, duh. It's consistently the best-selling Switch game every single year. What makes this game tick is that it felt like a true modern step forward. Mario Kart 7 was good and all, but a lot of it's still giving Mario Kart Wii era, even down to the sound effects and voice clips. But with Mario Kart 8, it finally felt like streamlined gameplay. Nothing was off limits, not even gravity. Not only did the mechanics get an upgrade, but the graphics? Ooh, the graphics were something else. I still stand by this being one of the best looking Nintendo games ever. There was so much detail in virtually every course that we haven't seen before. Even the retro courses got a dramatic facelift. They somehow made the Super Circuit courses look phenomenal, which is a feat in and of itself. I firmly believe that this game's graphics will age extremely well because it combines modern design with that signature Nintendo charm. Especially after 6 additional waves of DLC, it's the most complete grab bag of new and classic tracks. If you want the most thorough history of the entire series, get this game. If you want to realize that you suck at differentiating cities around the world, well, I got the DLC pass for you. And the soundtrack? Already iconic. Opting for live instrumentation truly helped this game feel larger than life. Even though it's just polygons moving in circles, we saw how versatile this game is. It's pretty much the ultimate put on whatever game. Whether it's at a party, or the cousins are over, or trying to break the ice with a new friend. What's funny is that I didn't get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe until 2020, 3 years after its release, and that was an instant gateway to play with my online friends for hours through COVID times. It's the most straightforward Mario Kart game to whip out on any occasion, is what I'm saying. Sorry, Mario Kart Wii. I still love you. Okay, it's awesome that Mario Kart 8 became the quintessential Mario Kart, but the scary question that we kind of forget to ask is, what's next? What do you do after such a monumental release? I mean, comparing Mario Kart 8's legacy to its successor is unavoidable. The abundance of content is great in the moment, yet sets a scary precedent. In the age of excess, people will only expect more and more from the series, which can't be sustainable in the long run. This dilemma is similar to Smash Bros right now. You can only go up in scale until it's unmanageable, until you literally have the ultimate game. The obvious answer that some have been asking for is a Nintendo Kart, essentially smashifying Mario Kart. I mean, they've already dabbled in it, even back in the Wii U days. Why not open the floodgates to the entire Nintendo universe, right? Well, here's why I think we shouldn't be too quick to jump the shark. A Nintendo Kart could very well take away the magic of Mario Kart. There's a reason why other kart racers never seem to compete. Yes, there is some bias coming from a Nintendo fan, but being the first to really nail and stick to that formula has its benefits. I've never seen more iconic video game courses than the ones in Mario Kart. Smash works as a concept because the series goes above and beyond in terms of representation, down to every last detail. To me, the magic of Mario Kart is taking realistic locations and somehow shaping them into a raceable track, no matter how wacky the concept. In a mall, on a cruise ship, up a waterfall, you name it, it's probably raceable. They stick in your minds after all these years because it's unreal yet still makes sense. I don't doubt the developers' creative designs, but the multiple nature of the Mario universe allows for this creativity, kinda like Kirby's philosophy. It's hard to imagine the Metroid universe having as many fun and wacky course designs. It's possible, but likely difficult. Now that Mario Kart 8 proved itself as the de facto multiplayer game, it's the perfect time to make an out-of-left-field innovation. Double Dash is remembered so fondly because of the double driver mechanic, while still maintaining the essence of Mario Kart. I think they can afford to get experimental again. The wackier, the better. I know we may be real tired of racing through Sunshine Airport for the 500th time, but we should savor this phenomenon while we have it. Kinda like the Switch era itself. It could be the last classic Mario Kart formula as we know it. When the next generation of kids ask you, what's a MAK Deluxe? You can proudly say, well, young one, it was a game that took over the world, and we thought 96 tracks was a lot. I believe this game will go down in history as one of the classics that never go out of style, like Super Mario World or Ocarina of Time. It'll age gracefully because of its solid mechanics and art style, even Even Nintendo's cash cow deserves respect for how much enjoyment it offered over the years. Mario Kart 8 became the game to bridge the gap between veterans and people who just picked up a Nintendo game for the first time. It's not the most bombastic thing ever, but it definitely earned its place as the most successful Mario Kart in history. You know you have a solid game when it can last nearly a decade and beyond. And I'm more than excited to see where Nintendo takes this franchise next.